Hey everyone, my name is Riley and this video is a complete AWeber tutorial for beginners. Now to jump right in, the very first thing that we need to do is actually create an AWeber account if you do not yet have one. Now I will leave my affiliate link to AWeber in the description of this video, and using that link will allow you to create a free account. So once you have clicked on that link and we are on this page, all you need to do is enter in your first name, your last name, and then the email address that you would like to sign up with. From here, we can then click on Get Started for free. And AWeber is going to go through and create your account. So it's going to send us over an email to the email address that we signed up with. So let's go ahead and find that email so that we can now log in. So if I now head over to my email, you can see that I have this email from AWeber. So all we now need to do is go to Get Started right here. And in this area, we can now create the password that we would like to log in with. So we just, once again, enter in the same email that we signed up with. We can then go down here and create a password, and then click on Save Password. AWeber is then going to go through and ask us a few more questions, such as your address, your company information, and a few other things like this. And once you have completed those questions, it's then going to take us through to this dashboard right here. And we now have our AWeber account all set up. So this is the AWeber dashboard. We just get an overview of the account right here. So we can see how many people have subscribed in the last 60 days, how many sales we have made through our emails. Down here, we have any scheduled broadcasts is just another word for one-time emails. So rather than an email autoresponder that is scheduled emails, broadcasts are just a one-off email that aren't part of your autoresponder sequence. So we can see scheduled broadcasts, any sent broadcasts that we have. And down here, we can see our email list. Then over on this left-hand side, this is where we can navigate through AWeber and do everything that we need to do to get everything set up. Now, the very first area that we want to go into is going to be the subscribers section. So we can click into subscribers right here. And this is going to show us all of the subscribers that we have so far in AWeber. Usually you will just have one, and this is going to be the email that you signed up with. AWeber will automatically sign you up to your own email list so that you can monitor your emails that you send out through your own account. Now, to add new subscribers, we have a few different options depending on the position that you are in. So if you already have subscribers and you need to import these subscribers into AWeber, we do this by going up to Add Subscribers in this top right corner. And then you can see we have Add a Subscriber, so a single subscriber, or Add Multiple to bulk import. So let's just start out with Add Subscriber because this is easier. So if we click on this, it's then going to ask us to fill in this information. So let's say that this subscriber's name is James Johnson, just like this. We can then enter in his email, so james.johnson@example.com. Then in here, any tags that you want to add to this customer, we can drop in here, and we will cover tags later. This is essentially where you can segment your list. So just to give you a brief insight into what tags are, essentially two tags might be active and inactive. And then you can send different emails. So someone might be tagged as active, somebody might be tagged as inactive. You don't want to be constantly sending your inactive subscribers emails because that's just going to be a waste, right? So that's how you can basically use tags right here. But we will get into this more when we go into the automation section. But for now, we can just click on Add Subscriber right here. Okay, so apparently example.com is not allowed. So we can just try a different email address right here. And that's going to allow us to go through and add this subscriber to the list. So if we now go over to subscribers, you will see the subscriber I just added has now been added in right here. Now, to bulk import instead, if you are moving from another email provider or you just have a big list that you would like to import, the way that we do this is by going to Add Subscribers once again, and this time going to Import Multiple. In here, we can choose between whether we want to type out a list of these subscribers. So to do this, we would basically go for the email, then a comma, and then the person's name. So let's go for James Johnson again. And then we would go down and do the exact same thing. So at Gmail, harry.com, Harry James. Just like that. You get the idea. That's how we can add subscribers in manually. Or alternatively, we can drop in a file to upload right here. So you can choose from an XLS, a CSV file, a text file. We just click to browse, and then we can drop the list in right here. And that is how we can add subscribers to the email list. The last thing that I will cover in this section is just this tab, oopsie, down the left-hand side right here. And this is just filters, so we can filter by subscribers that subscribed today, subscribers that subscribed in the past 30 days. We can see people who unsubscribed, people who are currently subscribed, and you can basically filter your list using these tabs right here. The next thing that we can do is down here under pages and forms. This is where we can set up a landing page for you to be able to collect people's emails. Now, you will notice in here that we have landing pages and we also have sign up forms. Now, the difference between these is a landing page is an entire web page. So if I just show you this example by going into view this, you can see this right here, and this is an entire web page. This is just an example, but this would be across the entire page, right? This right here is the sign up form, where somebody actually enters in their information. So the sign up form is the base thing that actually collects the information, and the landing page is the web page that it is within. So what we can do in here is we can go ahead and create a landing page by just clicking on create a landing page. And these are all of the templates that we have to choose from. So we can go down, there's a good like 30 on here, I would say, that you can choose from. And all of these are completely customizable. Now, as a beginner, it's a good idea to choose one that is more relevant to your website. Like, it's ideal that you don't have to uplift the entire thing. But just to show you how to edit these, let's go into this one right here, this Ceramics by Jane. We can click on choose. And just like this, we are now going to be taken into the editor. The AWeber editor is what we call a drag and drop editor. And what this means is all we have to do to edit the text is click into this, and then we can start typing this in. So I could say GeForce North. Just underneath, we can go in and double click on this text as well, and we can enter that in. Then we could delete this, enter some contact information. You get the idea. Now, the drop part of drag and drop comes because with any of these elements, we can drag and drop these anywhere on the website. I say anywhere, you see this little blue bar that often appears. This is where we can drop this. So I can drop this heading between this text right here, where this blue line is. I can drop it beneath. So I can't just slam this anywhere randomly on the website. There still is a little bit of structure to this, but we do have a lot of freedom. So I moved it there, then I'm just going to drag this back up to the top and put this back where it was. For images, all we have to do to edit images is click into this. And then on this main control panel on the right hand side, this is where I can upload my image, or we can choose from AWeber's template gallery. So we can see we have a few stock images here to choose from, or alternatively, I can upload my own image, and then I am going to upload an image of myself. So we can go in, grab this, and that is now dropped in. We can also delete any of these elements by simply hovering over the element. And then on this side panel that opens up, we can click on delete. And sometimes when you delete these, you will get this section, like a blank section that says drop elements here. So if you delete an element and it says this, then we can choose a new element from this left-hand side to drop in. So as an example, instead of having the QR code down there, I might go in and add a subscribe button to my YouTube channel. So we can go ahead and drag this in right here and just drop this at the bottom. Then we can click into the button, and on this control panel on the left-hand side, this is where we can edit this. So I would just drop my YouTube link into this URL right here. Then we can double click and change the text. So I will say subscribe here. We might want to go ahead and make this red as well, so we can see the color and hover. So right now, this is red, the main color. And if I hover over this, it's going to turn white because that's the hover color. So let's set this to maybe a darker red like this, and perfect. Then for the main colors on the website, if I want to change this big background color right here, this green, I can click in, and then we can see the background color once again on this right-hand side. So I click in, maybe we can set this to an orange, click into this next section over here, set this to the same color, and then at the bottom, the same color, just like this. We need to do it for this one as well. Okay, so we can click in, make sure we get the right area, set this to orange. And then finally, this main background color right here. This actually looks like a background image rather than a color. All we would have to do is just click into the background right here. Then we can see background and we can remove, we could upload a new image, or we can just choose the main background color right here. Then at the top, we would obviously go in, make these changes. So this is a logo. We can upload an image. You get the idea. And that's how we can create our landing page. For the form, we can click into the form, and then we have form fields over on this left-hand side. So right now, this is asking for a name and an email, and then people can sign up. But if we want to add additional form fields, we can click into manage your custom fields right here, and then we can create some new form fields. So as an example, if I wanted to collect a phone number, we can click in, and then I can say phone number, click on add. And just like that, this is now added in. So we can go back over to the website that we just created. And now if I click into this area, we can select a form field and add the phone number that I just created. So that is how you can create a landing page right there. We can now save and exit. And this is the landing page right here. Once we have this set up, you can see this is still unpublished. So to put this live, we just click on these three dots, then publish page, and this page is now on the internet. In the sign up form section, this is where we can create a sign up form, and usually this will be when we are embedding it on our own website. So rather than creating an entire landing page, if you have like a Wix website or a WordPress website or something like this, and you want to put your form on that website, this is where we would create it. So we just go to create a sign up form, and then we can either choose on a landing page or for my website. So we would click into this. And in this area, we can now go through and we can customize this form field. So once again, we have some templates up here at the top that we can choose from. Let's load this template in. Over on this left-hand side, this is where we can customize the form fields right here. So let's create a new one. And for the field name, we are going to say phone number. Then next. Okay, so this already exists. So let's just add a point, just like that. And that is now going to be added in. I misspelled that, but it doesn't matter. We can then go down and choose an input type. So if we want people to type text, if we want them to select multiple choice boxes, a checkbox, any of these other options, we can save the field right here. And then in this area, we might want to go in and customize things like the background. Just make this fit the rest of your website and how this is going to look. We can also go in and choose the button color here at the bottom. So we could set this to like a green color, and you get the idea. This is how we can customize this form. Now to actually add this to the website, all we do is we now go to step 2. We can then choose some settings. So we can set a form name, which call as test. And then we can go to step 3, save the form. And in here, we now want to install this on the website. So we click in, and then it's just going to give us some code. So we can choose between Java snippet or HTML. And this is really not as confusing as it looks. All we have to do is copy the code right here. And then as an example, I'm going to add this to my WordPress website. So we can now go into WordPress. I can open up my site and edit this. And then all I would need to do to actually add this form to my website is let's add a new section right here. Then for the widget, we want HTML, drag this in. And then I would just paste the code in right here. And as you can see, I now have the form I just created, and people can sign up to my email list from my website via this integration. Pretty cool, right? Now, I actually don't want this on my website, so I want to make sure that isn't saved. Perfect. And that is how you can create landing pages and sign up forms. Next, let's talk about emails. Probably the most important aspect of this entire software is creating emails and creating an automated sequence. Now, there is a big difference between messages and automation. Essentially, the difference is that messages are going to be one-time emails that you send out, whereas automations is where we can create our automated email sequence. So you might even use these in conjunction. You might have an automated email sequence that sends out your emails on autopilot, and then every once in a while, you might want to come in here and create a message, a one-time email for maybe like a Black Friday sale or maybe a Christmas sale, something along these lines. But let's start out with messages right here. All we have to do is go in and create a message. And then you can see we have different options. We have a plain text editor. So this is if you only want your email to contain text. We then have a smart designer. Use your website URL to create a template. I have personally never used this, so I can't tell you if it's good at all. I'll tell you what it does. Essentially, I could go to my website, copy the URL, and then it's going to use AI to design me a template that is supposed to look like my website and have congruency. As I say, I've never used it though. And then the drag and drop editor is the main thing that you will probably be using. And this is exactly how we built the landing page, but this time for an email. So we can click into this. And this is now going to load up the email. By default, this is just going to be a plain text email. So we can go in and we can just start editing this. So I can say, check out my recent YouTube video. And then I could go in and start typing things out right here. You get the idea. I just type out my email. And then we have different elements that we can add in. So for now, if I just delete this button, we can add in images to this. We can add buttons. We can add dividers. We can add videos, logos, coupon codes, articles, all of these different options. So all we have to do to customize this email is go to the element that we would like to add, for example, a button, and just drag this where we want to in this email. So I could go there. Then for the button label, let's say watch the video here. And then all I would do is grab my YouTube URL for the video that I want to link them to, paste that into here. We can then customize the button font. We can customize the button color right here and how the button is going to look. And we can also choose the alignment. This is white, so you won't be able to see. There we go. I could also add a logo to my email by simply dragging a logo in, uploading an image on this right-hand side. And I just want to grab my logo right here, just like that. And now I have my logo added in. We definitely want to make this a little bit smaller and perfect. We then have some information here at the bottom about me. So I could add an image in here. I could add my name. I could add my position or email. And if instead of creating this YouTube video email, I wanted to create maybe like a coupon code email, what I can do is just delete all of this. And then maybe we can go and add in some text at the top. We can say, welcome, your 20% off discount. Then we could just highlight this, use these options along the top to really play around with the text, make the text bigger or smaller, depending on how you want this to look. We can make this bold. Let's just bring this down a little bit. We can choose the alignment. We can choose the text color and so many different things you can add here at the top. Then we could go down and we can add this coupon code in. So we can drag this in and save 25% or more on any in-store purchase. Then we could just click in and we could say, use code 20 off. Just like that. We could then make this bigger. So this is like the main focus point of this. And then maybe what we also want to do is we want to add a button into here. And we can say shop now. So that should give you a general understanding of how we can actually create these emails. Then once you have finished writing your email, we go save and exit. And this is going to take us back to the messages area. Now, when you click save and exit, this is not going to automatically send out the email. You need to choose to send it. So right now, this is a draft. By the way, we didn't set a subject here, so very important. If we just click back in, we add a subject in this top left corner. Now, the subject, just to show you if you are not familiar with email marketing, is this right here. So it's very important to have a clickable subject, something that people want to click. So in here, we could maybe say, you're welcome discount. If I just pull this back up, this is the preview text right here. You see how the headline is bold, or the subject is bold, I should say. This is the preview text. So we could say shop now and save 20%. We can then click on done. And now we have a subject line and preview text. So we can go ahead and save this. As I was saying before I got sidetracked there, what we can do to actually send this out is you will see if I hover over this, we have this schedule button. So we just click on schedule, and then it's going to take us over to this area where once again, we can set a subject. We can choose if we want to send this immediately or if we want to choose a date in the future to send this out. We can then choose the audience that we want to send this to. So we can choose the email list, active subscribers, people who subscribed today, people who subscribed yesterday. You get the idea. And then all we need to do to actually send this is just go down and click send message now. And just like that, this message is now sending. So that is how we can send one-off emails. Alternatively, we can go down here and we can create an automated email campaign. So I'm just going to delete these two that I was messing around with earlier. And this should be the screen that you are taken to. So what we can now do to create an automated email campaign is click right here on create campaign. And then we have a few of these different options. So we have like a welcome series, a blog automation, mini course, meeting reminder. And these are essentially just templates that you can choose from, where AWeber is kind of going to give you a rough template. As an example, if I go to welcome series and select this, this is just going to give me a base template. So trigger campaign for new subscribers. So when somebody subscribes to my email list, this is going to be triggered. The first thing it does is apply a tag that is welcome campaign. Then it sends them a message. Then it applies the tag welcomed and it removes the original tag that it added. So this area is really where tags come in handy, because what you can do is you can set up different automations to go to different people. So we might set up a welcome sequence just like this. And then what we might do is set up a new sequence that is just for people who have the tag welcomed. And then they can go through and maybe we split this list into people who are active and inactive. And then from there, we can set up a new automation and just send emails to the people who are active. I hope that makes sense. But let's go back and start with a blank campaign so I can show you how this works. And in here, you can see in the campaign editor, we have two choices of how this starts out. We can choose as soon as somebody subscribes to our list or when a certain tag is applied. So let's just create a welcome sequence right here. We can go unsubscribe. So when somebody subscribes, this is going to be triggered. The first thing that I want to do is send them a message. So we just drag this in. And then to create this message, we just go to this right-hand side. Then we can go to the drag and drop email builder and go through and create the email that we want to send out. This works in the exact same way as creating an email like I showed you earlier. Once that is created, we can save and exit. And as you can see, this email is now saved. So we now have this first email in here. Then we might want to add a wait. We want to wait 24 hours. So wait 1 day, this is automatically set up, but we can change this here. Then we might want to send another message. We can drag this in, go through and create this message right here. And then after this, we might want to apply a tag. So we can go to apply tag and drag this in. And we can now choose if we want to add or remove a tag. So when somebody has gone through this email sequence, we might tag them with welcomed. Okay, so they get added to the tag welcomed and there's no tags to remove. So we can now go save and exit. And then in here, we might want to create a new campaign, a blank campaign. And this time we can call this 30-day sequence. And the people that we are going to add to this is the people who have already been through that first sequence. So we can go in here and we can go tag applied, start the campaign if any of these tags are applied to a subscriber. And the one that we want to go with is going to be welcomed. We can then go down here and this is where things start getting a little bit more technical. So we can say, start this campaign if the subscriber is tagged as welcomed, except from if they are also tagged with something else. So we can set that up. When this tag is applied to somebody, they get added into this sequence. Then once again, we can send a message, we can wait, we can send a message, And we could maybe just go through and send a few more. You get the idea. And then at the end of this, we could go through and we could say completed sequence 1. We can then save and exit. And we can go through and recreate this entire thing, just adding people into new lists when they pick up that new tag. So those are really the main important things that we need to know about. You can also go down to report right here. And this is just going to show you for each day, how many broadcasts did you send out? How many campaigns did you send out? How many people opened these emails? So this is opens over time. We can then go to clicks and see the links that you added into your emails. How many times were they clicked? How many times did this lead to sales? We can just get all of these statistics in here. You might also have some other apps that you want to integrate up to AWeber, like ClickFunnels, PayPal, Etsy, all of these other options. So what you can do is if you do have any other tools that you might want to connect, we can search for this integration. So as an example, I might want to integrate Slack. We can search for Slack, and then all we have to do to integrate this is click on Connect Integration, and then it's going to walk us through step by step and show us exactly how we can integrate these tools. So that is my complete AWeber tutorial. If you found this video valuable, don't forget to smash that like button and tap that subscribe button. And until next time, take it easy.